Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello.
Today we're taking a plunge into a source that's really been a guide, I think, and maybe even a friend for so many people looking to unlock their creative selves.
Yeah, it's resonated with a lot of folks.
We're diving into excerpts from Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear.
That's the one.
And our goal here, our mission in this deep dive, is to really unpack the core ideas.
Pull out those important nuggets.
Exactly, and see how they can offer you practical encouragement, maybe some powerful insights.
Yeah, to help you embrace a more inspired life. Maybe unleash some of that potential you feel bubbling up.
So let's start with the core invitation. What's the book really asking of us?
Well, right from the beginning, it's this powerful call, isn't it? Live a creative life without regret.
And importantly, it's not just framing creative living for, artists with a capital A.
No, not at all. It's really for anyone searching for more curiosity, more wonder, just more, well, magic in their day-to-day.
And what's fascinating is how she immediately sets up curiosity as the key.
Yes, as the essential counterpoint to fear. It's the proposed antidote, really.
Suggesting that living an inspired life isn't about some grand plan.
No, much more about making that simple choice for exploration, day after day.
Just saying yes.
Saying yes to those quiet whispers, to little hints of your own hidden interests and gifts.
Right, and that connects to this idea she talks about everyone carrying undiscovered treasure.
Inside them. Absolutely everyone.
She paints this picture of brilliant secrets, unique insights, things, the universe, as she puts it, specifically stuffed inside you.
Yeah, and the journey, the creative living part, is framed as this grand adventure, an internal treasure hunt.
And the bravery isn't finding it all at once.
Not necessarily. It's more about having the courage just to pick up the shovel, start digging.
That act of starting, that's what makes an ordinary life feel a bit more
Electric, yeah, that's the word she uses.
But that raises a big question, doesn't it? How do you know what that treasure even is?
And Gilbert's very honest about that. She says, you might only feel hints at first, whispers.
Like a nagging interest or a what if?
Exactly, something you can't quite pin down, and crucially, no one else can tell you what it is.
It's personal.
Intensely personal. She calls that initial search an act of blind optimism.
Faith.
Kind of a faith, yeah. That there is something extraordinary tucked away inside you, just waiting for you to say yes.
Okay, so if creativity is driven by curiosity, by finding this treasure, what holds us back? What's the obstacle?
Well, she spends a lot of time on fear. Describes it as this huge, barren wasteland.
Where dreams just wither.
Right. And the list of fears she provides is, wow, so relatable.
Oh, yeah. Fear you have no talent. Fear of judgment.
Fear your work isn't original, that nobody will care, that someone will steal your idea.
Worrying if it's deep enough or good enough. Just paralysis.
And then the practical stuff, too. Wasted time, no discipline, no space, no money.
No degree, feeling too old, too young, haunted by past failures or even past successes sometimes.
It's incredibly comprehensive. And it really highlights that fear isn't just some minor hurdle. It's a constant companion.
Loud. Relentless.
And very convincing in its arguments for why you shouldn't even try.
So just knowing fear is there isn't enough.
That's a key insight. Knowing isn't doing. You have to act differently. She talks about her own childhood fears.
Right, being scared of everything.
Yeah. It emphasizes how deep-seated it can be. But the crucial point, the empowering part, is that fear doesn't get the final say.
It's there, but it doesn't drive the car.
Exactly. You choose how you respond.
Okay, so here's where things get, really interesting. This idea about ideas themselves.
Oh, this is fascinating. The concept that ideas are like entities.
They have their own will, their own energy.
Yeah, they're not just passive thoughts. She describes them as actively hunting for partners, looking for a human collaborator.
And she tells that amazing story, the Amazon Highway Project.
Right, based on a true story. The highway gets abandoned and the jungle just takes it back, swallows the machines, everything.
And that sparked a novel idea for her.
Yes, she started it, put it away. You know how it goes.
We've all done that.
And years later, she comes back to it, and the feeling is just gone. The soul vanished, she says.
The idea packed its bags and walked out. Wow.
It really challenges that standard Western idea of creative ownership, doesn't it? That once you think it, it's yours.
So ideas are like visitors.
Impatient house guests, she calls them. They show up, full of potential, but they won't wait forever.
If you don't engage, put in the work.
They move on. Find someone else willing to collaborate.
And the story about Anne Patchett writing a similar book, Gilbert saw that as magic, not theft.
Exactly. Proof the idea was just ripe, looking for expression. It connects to that multiple discovery idea you see in science.
Like calculus or oxygen, people discovering things around the same time.
Right. Ideas sprout like violets in spring, she says. They pop up when the moment is right.
So if ideas are visiting and fear is always around, how do we actually do the work? How do we create?
Well, one thing she pushes back on really hard is that whole tortured artist stereotype.
Oh, yeah. The idea that suffering is necessary for great art.
Right. Or drowning yourself in bad habits, or abandoning projects because they aren't instantly perfect.
She mentions that friend who stopped writing because the words never matched the vision in his head.
That's such a trap. And her core message is, you don't need to wrestle inspiration like it's some cruel boss.
Or battle inner demons as your main creative fuel.
No. Instead, the invitation is to remove what drains you. Choose a quieter, steadier kind of fulfillment.
Greet ideas like old friends.
Approach it with curiosity, openness, not melodrama. The muse, she says, isn't impressed by your suffering.
It just wants you to show up.
Exactly. Just do the work. Consistently.
And how do you do that? How do you show up?
She gives practical advice. Establish a routine, even a small one. Rise earlier, clear some time.
Say yes to the idea. Make a deal with it.
An unspoken deal, yeah. A commitment to partnership. And treat it like a job, even if it doesn't pay.
Because it is work. It deserves that respect.
But she's also blunt, right? Creativity doesn't owe you loyalty.
It won't wait forever if you ignore it.
And when an idea leaves, that impatient house guest, you have to move forward fast with quiet acceptance.
No sulking.
No drama, no wasted energy. Just find another project, any project, and dive in.
Which highlights that need for discipline. Persistence.
Absolutely. It's not glamorous, but it's essential. She uses her own journey as an example.
Yeah.
Working all those day jobs.
Waitress, bartender, ranch hand, while writing relentlessly.
Yeah, and submitting constantly.
Yeah.
That anecdote about rejection letters, treating it like a never-ending tennis match.
You lob one at me, I'm smacking it right back. That's brilliant.
It shows that stubborn determination.
Yeah.
That showing up is the real payoff. It's a lifetime thing, regardless of immediate success, outlasting the no's.
Okay, what about permission? So many people feel they need permission to start.
Right, like you need a degree, or a mentor has to officially bless you, or you need some invitation.
And Gilbert says,
unequivocally, you don't. You're already legitimate just by being here. Life itself is the teacher.
And you can find mentors in books, like Dickens for writing.
It connects back to that inner treasure idea, trusting what's already inside you.
So declare your creative purpose.
Yeah, mainly to yourself. And the universe, maybe. It's a daily commitment negotiating against the doubts.
I love that line. You're not special. Funny you mention it, because I am. I'm here, aren't I?
It's powerful. That same force that made galaxies runs through you. You belong here doing this.
Okay, but what about originality? If ideas are flying around, how can my idea be original? Does it matter?
She offers such a comforting view here. Authenticity beats originality every time.
Shakespeare recycled plots. Picasso looked at cave paintings.
Exactly. The magic isn't inventing something totally new from nothing. It's how you roll it.
Bringing your unique voice, your life, your hands to it.
Right. Stop worrying about being first, she says. Focus on being truest. If it's authentically you, it will feel fresh.
Which leads us away from another trap, perfectionism.
Oh, a huge one. She's so clear. Perfectionism is a time-sucking trap.
It's just fear in disguise, right? Fear of not being good enough.
Totally. And she points out, no matter how good it is, someone will find fault. So just stop waiting.
Stop waiting for permission. Stop demanding perfection. You're ready now.
And she shares that story about her first novel. 700 pages. Flawed character. But she finished it.
She got it done. Which brings us to maybe the most practical advice.
Done is better than good.
It sounds almost like giving up, but it's not, is it?
Not at all. It's respecting reality. Life's limits.
Yeah.
Recognizing the immense value of completion.
A messy finished book today is better than an imaginary masterpiece you never write.
Precisely. Finishing something puts you way ahead of most people who stop when it gets hard.
And her example of cutting 30% from that early story, Pilgrims?
Yeah. Felt like killing my child, she said. But she did it.
And that finished, imperfect work launched her career.
It shows how letting go of perfection, detaching a bit, can open doors. Your work isn't your child. It's a mirror showing how far you've come.
So if it's not about perfection, not about guaranteed success.
Right.
What's the point?
Right. She really challenges those external ideas of success, fame, fortune.
Using that analogy of the muse of artistic achievement as
A
a...
wealthy, eccentric aunt
Yeah.
who sometimes, randomly, doles out favors like success or awards.
But you can't count on her.
No. Pinning your joy on her fickle nature is a losing bet because that's out of your control.
So the real success is...
The work itself, the dedication, the craft, showing up, that's what you control.
Discipline is yours to wield.
Even when effort doesn't guarantee results. Which reframes that question.
Yeah.
Not what if you couldn't fail.
But what would you do even if failure was almost guaranteed?
That fierce trust, that love for doing it, that's the success worth having.
And practically, financially. Don't expect creativity to pay all the bills right away.
Yeah, that's like asking a butterfly to pull a plow. It puts too much pressure on it.
Can strangle the joy right out of it.
So having a day job, a safety net, that's not failure. It's often smart. It gives creativity room to breathe.
She mentions Toni Morrison, J.K. Rowling, creating in the margins for years.
It's about resourcefulness, not necessarily having resources.
And building on that idea of creativity for its own sake, she says it's not brain surgery.
Huh. Yeah, it's messy, unpredictable, and gloriously unimportant in the grand scheme compared to, say, being a doctor.
And that's liberating.
Totally. Because it's not essential for basic survival for most of us. It's the glitter on top of life's cake.
Just joy for no reason.
Which leads to approaching it with playfulness.
Yeah.
Be a trickster, not a martyr.
Like the Balinese dance story, evolving from sacred to tourist and back again, magic popping up unexpectedly through play.
Or that guy who went to the royal ball dressed as a giant lobster.
Just owning the absurdity.
Sometimes you need that bold stupidity, as she calls it. Just try things, play.
It shifts the view of creativity from this difficult, moody deity.
Right, not a capricious deity messing with your head. More like a
loyal dog dropping mangled toys at your feet, thrilled just to play.
Always there, offering things. The question isn't, will it stick around?
But will you throw the damn ball? Will you engage?
And maybe the most profound shift she offers is challenging that idea that creativity is cruel or indifferent.
That you have to suffer for it. She asks the young writers, does writing love you back?
And most say no. They see it like a toxic relationship. All give, no take, just pain.
But Gilbert completely rejects that, especially the pain is fuel myth.
She contrasts the tortured artist with her own belief. My work loves me back.
Wow. That's a different way to think about it.
She suggests creativity didn't show up to destroy you. It came because it wanted you. It saw something in you.
It begged for your attention.
And when you choose to trust that, meet it with a grin, not a grimace, you tap into this bottomless well of joy.
So creativity becomes a weapon against despair.
Yes, pulling you towards a stable, healthy, engaged life, not away from it.
Okay, so how do we handle the inevitable bumps? The criticism, the disappointments?
This is where she brings in the ego versus the soul. Failure hurts. Criticism stings. That's your ego throwing a tantrum.
The part that craves validation, compares, is never satisfied.
But you're also something deeper. Your soul.
Doesn't need applause to know its worth.
Right. It doesn't care about success or failure in those terms. It guides you toward pure, unfiltered wonder.
And creativity is the fastest route there.
That's the argument. So when criticism hits, when you feel discontent, recognize the ego's noise.
But listen to the soul. Ask it, what do you really want?
And the answer is always.
More wonder, please.
So this whole deep dive into big magic,
Yeah.
it really feels like an invitation, doesn't it?
Yeah, a reminder that creative living isn't just for a select few. It's an invitation directly to you.
To choose curiosity. Dig for that treasure inside. Partner with ideas.
Show up consistently. Let go of perfectionism.
And find the real joy in the process itself, no matter the outcome.
It's a dance, a game. A trust that creativity wants to work with you.
That it even loves you back.
So if creativity is always reaching out, always wants to play, and if it genuinely loves you back,
here's a thought to carry forward.
What wild, playful, maybe even slightly absurd creative risk would you take this week?
Just because you can. Trusting that the universe, your own creative spirit, is ready to catch whatever you throw out there.